Right, hello. So this is one of the new tracks I made recently. It's a one make race for one car in each category that's available. It is quite difficult, even though I've made this one myself. I do make mistakes quite a bit on it. I'm still trying to get used to the really tight section on it in particular, which I'll point out. I'm going to do a slow lap and go through each corner, and then I'm going to do 3 laps after that. I usually only do sort of one as the full demonstration, but just to prove that I can't get the laps perfect, I'm going to try and do them as consistently as possible. But even if there aren't any accidents, you will notice some differences where I've not quite gotten it spot on. So we'll see how this goes. I'll take the T20 onto this. Right, the starting straight, the grid, you will either be started on the left of the road or the right. Now, depending on where you are, I would suggest slightly different lines coming into this first corner. So if you're on the left here, cut across the inside just to make sure that you have enough room because your turning circle is going to be a bit sharper. If you start on the right, then I would suggest turning a bit later. Bearing in mind there will be other cars on the starting grid at this point, so if you need to avoid them, go sort of around the outside. You've got enough space to play with here, so you can sort of play it later. If you can cut on the inside, you can cut across the inside as well, so a couple of options there. But just be very careful on the starting grid, and bear in mind that the people on the left seem to sort of tend to start slightly in front. So coming around here, you want to turn nice and smoothly, watch out for the dirt on the inside. You'll approach this corner coming up, which is very difficult. You want to brake quite heavily up to this point. Now the timing of the turn, as is the case with a lot of other corners on this track, is crucial. If you turn too early, you might catch the inside barrier, which seems to be a bit rough on certain points, so you want to watch out for. Or you might come off of here, sort of bounce off of this inside bit and then hit these flags, which isn't good. Or if you turn too late, you might sort of slide into these barriers here, or catch the dirt and spin it and sort of get your car stuck sideways, and there's a whole host of things that could happen there that you want to avoid. So brake up to this point here, and then just turn in at the right time. So make sure your car's nice and sort of wide coming up to this bit. Turn in probably just as the front of your car gets past the start of that corner, if that makes any sense. So just turn in about here to make sure you go between the inside barrier and the flags, and then ease off the throttle or brake a little bit just to make sure you don't hit this, because that'll really screw your car up. So you don't do that. And obviously my car's sideways, you can imagine if there were cars behind me that'll be blocked off, and so on and so forth. So keep your car nice and stable through there. Through this section, the whole section, I'm not going to repeat myself, it's just a case of keeping the car in the middle and turning at the right time to avoid the barriers and avoid the dirt. Watch out for those stairs. I am planning on putting a tyre wall or a barrier in front of that just to prevent people from getting stuck on them, but for the time being, watch out for them, and watch out for this barrier that sort of comes out a bit here. And just be very careful. I would suggest around these long sweeping bends to keep your car to the outside initially and then turning gradually so that your car is away from the sort of rock face. Same again here, a little bit of a brake or ease off the throttle and just keep it in the middle, and you can go nice and quickly down here as long as you time your turns right. Ease off a little bit here or brake a little bit, line yourself up for this ramp, make sure your car's straight. As soon as you land, let go of the throttle a little bit or a little bit of a brake again. Come up to this section, watch out for that, you don't want to hit that, and you certainly don't want to go over here because then you've got the wooden fence to contend with. So just keep your car nice and stable in the middle, come slightly over to the right, ready for this turn, and then brake here. You'll notice this barrier here is diagonal, so you can actually cut across this bit. Watch out for that hedge though, it might sort of catch your car out a bit. Going down here, nice and smooth, brake heavily into this bit and just throw your car through here, but don't allow your car to slide over to the outside because there are some signs to contend with. You want to watch out for those. So try and keep it in the middle, try not to let it slide out too much, and don't catch the inside because as daft as it sounds, these hedges can actually cause your car to spin. So stay in the middle, and then approaching this section you come over to the left and brake here just as you get to this point. Turn in, get nice and close to the tyres on the right without hitting them, and then through here, turn in, just get a little bit closer to those barriers on the left, and then line yourself up straight for that ramp there. and then through this section, brake, go to the right on the outside and turn in, time your turn correctly so that you go between that section and the flags on the right hand side. And then here, brake heavily. Again, timing of the turn is crucial. Don't start turning too early because you'll go over the inside and maybe end up into these wooden fences over here, which you don't want. And don't turn too late because you'll slide into them anyway. Just turn about here as soon as you get into the corner, and then you want to go between the inside curb and the fences and not sort of have any issues either. This corner is a similar story. This corner sort of tightens up as you go through it, so it gets tighter and tighter. So because of that, what you want to do is just maybe brake slightly, but certainly ease off the throttle just a bit so your car doesn't slide towards the left. If it does, it will compromise your line through the next corner because you'll catch the hedges and you'll be a little bit unstable and you'll might end up over here or something like that. So coming through there, make sure you brake slightly so that your car does not drift over to this side here. And then on the run down to the corner, come over to the right and then turn in at just the right time so you can dive straight through there flat out between the tyres without hitting them and everything. So yeah, that's a lap. I'm going to drive a few now and hopefully they'll go reasonably well. I might make a couple of mistakes, I might make a major mistake, and if I do, I'm going to leave it in, so we'll see how this goes. Brakes a bit late there. Right, just a little bit gung-ho through there. I overdid it a bit. As you can see, it's very tricky, this bit. I mean, even though I've made this track myself, I've still been caught out by it many times. So I only went slightly over the dirt, but as you saw, it was still enough on this occasion to roll my car over. So it's not easy, this. And even where I'm not making mistakes, you can tell that the laps are not identical. It's just so hard to drive exactly the same line every time. That corner was a bit better this time. That was a bit better too. Hopefully I'll not brake too late for this other corner that's coming up soon. Not that one, the next one just here. Let's find out. Brake about now, I'd say. Yeah, that's better this time. Much smoother than it was on the last lap. That was also better. Nice and close to the inside there. Flat out through here. Nice and close to those tyres. So apart from the rollover, I'd say that was a better lap. Now let's see if I can put a good lap together. Ooh, caught those flags ever so slightly there, got away with it just. Bit of a side through there. That actually worked quite well, but it wasn't entirely intentional until I realised I was in the middle of it. I just held it. Got to line myself up for this ramp. Oh dear, ooh, that was a bit naughty. I didn't quite line myself up straight for that because I was going a bit quicker through that corner this time. It just goes to show when you're pushing yourself a bit more, things are not quite as smooth as they once were. So I'm holding on, but you can tell that when I push myself a bit more on this track, it just becomes more and more dangerous. That was better. So far I'm quite pleased with this lap actually, just as long as I don't cock it up through here. Yeah, that's fine. That was a much better lap this time. Pleased with that. So yeah, I wouldn't say any of those laps were absolutely perfect, but the last one in particular I'd say was better than the others. I went into a couple of slides on some of the corners that might have slowed me down a bit, because the best lap I've actually had on this track in this car was a 1:16.7, I think, and this time I ended up with a 1:17.6. So not fantastic, not perfect, but if I was to push myself even harder through certain sections and not brake almost, you know, that would be how I would step myself up just that little bit further. But that 1:16.7 was about as well as I could do, to be honest. So that was about as good as a lap gets from me. So yeah, not bad. I did make a major cock up. It didn't seem like it at the time. Didn't appear like it was going to be one, but as you saw, just a slight race section on the inside and my car was rolled over. So probably best I've done that, because you can see that it can be quite a difficult section. So I hope that's of some use, and if anyone wants to try this track, then let me know and I'll invite you into it sometime. You can bookmark it if you want. Right, till the next time.